What up, y'all? It's your boy, Lorio, with another episode. Today we have the NFL 2025 season preview, season opener, okay? That's what we're going to have. Obviously, y'all know the NFL just started, so let's get into it, okay? We're going to get into the two opener games. On Thursday, which was the Cowboys versus the Eagles, and then on Friday, which is the Chiefs versus the Chargers. Okay, and then after that, we're going to get into my predictions, the annual predictions for the season. So they have the winners, the Super Bowl winner, who I think is going to go to the Super Bowl, the MVP, offense, all that stuff, and some predictions. Okay, we're going to get into. But first, let's start off with opening night as the Eagles beat the Cowboys 24-20. And I'll start off with the Eagles O-line. Okay, Jalen Hurts had a great performance, great running performance, especially with behind that O-line. The O-line did a pretty solid thing. I think it was the usual guys, with Lane Johnson, Malata, and who else was there that I can remember? Cam Jurgens. I remember he's on there as well. And those guys, right? He did what's his name? Jalen Hurts. He did a pretty good job running the football today and also passing. Let me get in the stats real quick. Okay. So Jalen, he went 19-23 for 152 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 93.6 QBR, which is pretty good, and a passer rating of 94.2. Now, running the ball, like I was saying, he had a good performance passing, but running, spectacular. He had 14 carries, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, you want to give credit for that O-line, and we're going to talk about it more about the Dallas right? But Saquon, he didn't really have a good game. Before the weather delay, he was getting pretty good, but then after the weather delay, the O-line wasn't pushing the Cowboys D as much, and he finished with 18 carries, 60 yards, and 1 touchdown. So only averaged 3 yards per carry. So Saquon, he was pretty much taken out of the game in the second half by the Cowboys defense. The receivers, for the Eagles, they were really kind of non-existent, bro. Especially AJ Brown. Like he was the worst one to win, and I want to say he played bad, but they just didn't give him the ball. AJ Brown, 1 catch, 8 yards. That was it. But he only had 1 target. They only targeted him 1 time. That's crazy. Like, you only target your best receiver 1 time. Like, that's why sometimes he'd be having these problems and he'd be complaining because 1 target. Like, that's why bro was mad. But it was just to him. Like, even Devontae Smith, the second best the second best receiver on the team, he only targeted 3 times, and he had 3 catches for 16 yards. The one who had the most was Dallas Goedert, the tight end. He had 7 catches for 44 yards, and he had 7 targets. So the tight end got targeted the most, and it was just bad for I wouldn't say it was a bad day for the offense, but like only AJ Brown, and then they got the win, but only AJ Brown only had 1 target. Like, they're probably gonna clean that up. I think. I just forgot my boy. Sirianni. He's gonna clean that up. We'll see. And then with the new offensive coordinator, let's see how that goes. For the Dallas defense, right, they're going against, like I was talking about right now. Before the weather delay, they were getting ran over. Like I was saying, they were just getting ran over by Saquon and Jalen, especially Jalen Hurts. They were leaving the rush lanes, so exposed, and obviously Jalen took advantage of that, and that's why he was running everywhere. He was just free, and it was funny because Jalen wasn't even trying to run. Like, that wasn't his first thing to do. He would stay in the pocket, look for open receivers. Nobody was open, and then he would just dawn off. He would just look first read, second read, third read. No one is there. All right, I'm off. And he would run, and nobody would be there. The rushing lanes were so exposed. Like, bro, they were not disciplined. They didn't stay in their gaps. So then he just ran away, and there was in man coverage, so everyone has their back behind the quarterback. So he just ran, and he got him. So the Cowboys weren't disciplined. After the weather delay, they got way better. Like Eberflus adapted to it, and the run defense got better. They tightened up. They were stopping the run. Like they were beating the Eagles O line to the point where they just stopped Saquon, and they were stopping Jalen, and they were more disciplined. And then they started sending pressure. They had the corner blitzers and 5-man pressure after Jalen, and it was getting to him for a bit because they were failing to do it with 4 rushers. I think Eberflus saw that with 4 rushers, they weren't going to do it. They didn't have that one guy who they traded away to get to the quarterback, so they needed to send in numbers and not just the regular 4-man rush. So Dallas, they got better after, and I'll give them credit for that. They got better after the weather delay. Eberflus adapted, so I'm going to give credit. Credit is due on that end. Dallas on offense, right? Dak, he looked good. He had a pretty good night. He could have had better numbers, and that comes down to CD because CD had good numbers. But let's look at Dak's numbers first. Dak, he was 21 for 34, 188 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, QBR of 58.6, and a passer rating of 76.6. Now his numbers could have looked better because CD Lamb, he had pretty good numbers. He had a good start to the game with 7 catches, 110 yards on 13 targets. So overall he did well, and then like the first half he was doing well. He started off really good. They were targeting him really quick, like really fast. But he had those 4 drops. And then the last 2 in the final drive is what cost the Cowboys the game. The last drop was in the last drop, yeah. That was in 4th down on the last drive. That was a hard catch. Okay, that was a tough catch. He had to extend for that with his arms. And so I really blame him for that one because that is a hard catch to make. But I get it, right? Post saying, oh, he's number 1 receiver. You got to make that catch. And that is correct. But that's why I'm going to give him a little bit of slack because that was a harder catch to make. So, he had to die for it. So I get it. That was a little hard. I get the criticism, but I'm going to give him a little pass because that was a tough catch to make. But the one before that, the 3rd drop he had, and the boy Prescott threw a dot right in the chest hands area. He had it in his hands, and he dropped it. And that one was huge. There was no excuse for that. That was if he catches that, it's a huge momentum play, huge yardage. That probably shuts down the Philly crowd. They're probably shut up at that point because they're like, oh my God, they're probably gonna go score. And if they score, they win. But no, he dropped it. So. And, he came after the game. He has accountability. He was saying, like, oh, it was that was all me. Like, I should have made those catches. That's why I'm number 1 receiver. That's why they pay me. And, yeah, he's correct. That's why I'm not going to give him that much slack because he's doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, what else would you want him to do? Yeah, you make the catches. Yeah, I get that. But after it, he didn't. And he's showing accountability, saying that I should have done it. So, I can't give him no hate. I just got to say that. Next time, you better catch him. That's it. And especially that 3rd one, bro. Like, that one was crazy. That one was right in your hands, brother. You got to catch that. And he didn't, but maybe that serves him up as a reminder. He can remind himself every day that I had to catch this ball. And he'll probably get better from it. But it would have been huge if he caught it. It would have been huge. Continuing on with Javonte Williams, the running back. My guy, bro. He stood out today. He had 15 carries, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's my guy, bro. I remember when he was on the Broncos. I loved him on the Broncos. I was like, I like him, bro. I like this. I like the way he runs hard. He's short, so he can get through the tackles, He's sturdy. It's hard to bring him down, bro. Like the Eagles, every time they try to stop, they had to bring like 4 guys just to actually stop the run. It wasn't one defensive lineman. It had to be 2 or 3 to bring him down. So hard runner, sturdy runner. Always like Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be good for the Cowboys. I think he's going to be good for them. The O-line did a good job versus the Eagles front without Jalen Carter. And let's get into that. Jalen Carter. The Eagles defense, right? Without Jalen Carter for all the game. Because in the beginning, before one snap, because it was after kickoff, before the Eagles defense could take one snap, he spit on Dak and he was ejected for unsportsmanlike conduct. conduct, and we're waiting to see if there's any further punishment. Right now, there hasn't been anything given, so we'll see on that. There was a discussion online and everywhere to see if Dak. Oh, it started because video came out that Dak spit on the ground. Like he got away from his offensive lineman. He spit on the ground, and then Jalen Carter. I think he said after his press conference after the game, sitting at the press conference, and then Jalen Carter came, and he said, "Oh, are you spitting on me?" And Dak said, "No, I'm not spitting." Blah blah blah. I don't know if for the video. We'll see. But then he said, "You're gonna spit on me?" And he said, "No," and then he just spit on him. I don't know. But then Ryan. So now people are saying, "Oh, Dak started it. He's the one who spit. It's his fault." Blah blah blah. And listen, bro, Dak spit. Yes, he did, but he didn't spit on him, and that's what people are missing. He didn't spit. He spit at the ground. Now, was that the whole point? Maybe that was the point. I think Dak rage baited him. Obviously, he's not gonna say it, but I think Dak baited him. He rage baited him. He punked him. He tricked him. He said, because I know he probably, they seen it on the scouting report. They're like, Carter's a hothead. Let's try to get him out of the game. Let's try to do something, get him mad. And he got him. He got him. He spit on the ground, and he took that offensively, and he spit on him, and he got ejected. Like, that's just IQ from Dak. So I can't even hate on that, bro. I can't even hate on that. You can't even say, oh, he spit at him. Like, he literally fell for it. He fell because he didn't spit on him. Yes, you could argue he spit in his direction, but he didn't spit on him. He spit on the ground. So now if you're Jalen Carter and you actually took offense to that, that's on you. He rage baited you. So that's actually high IQ from Dak, and there's no discussion, bro. There's no who started, who this. That was Jalen Carter. That was just him for messing up the play. Like, for him for just being, I don't want to say stupid because he's Jalen Carter. Okay, we won't call him stupid. But that was just an incompetent play. We'll say it that. That was not an intelligent play. Would you leave it at that? And yeah, it probably cost the team. It could have cost the Eagles. It could have cost them. What else is there? And he did deserve to get ejected. I won't say it that. I think he probably deserves also a 1-game suspension. So that's warranted in my opinion. I think he's ejected, rightfully ejected, and then 1-game suspension, and I think that would be good. Continuing on, right? The Eagles, they felt it when he got ejected, and I think they became deflated because of it. Because the Cowboys, they felt it, and they were like, they're without him too, and both sides felt it. And the Cowboys started running it down their throats. And Dak was hitting CD early. And he was getting these passes. But credit to the Eagles D, they never folded. And after the weather delay, I think they also tightened up. And obviously they had the necessary stops with the Zach Bond tackle. And then when the Miles Sanders fumble. So the Eagles did what they had to do. And they won the game. But I think those drops and just them being undisciplined really cost the Cowboys. And Jalen Carter almost getting ejected almost cost the Eagles. I think if he was stayed, I don't think the game would have been as close because before the weather delay, I think the Eagles would have kicked their ass straight up and they would have gone away. Because I'm saying, before the weather delay, the Eagles were running rampant on offense. And on defense, if Carter doesn't get ejected, I don't think the Cowboys have that uprising. I don't think they feel that juice, and the Eagles aren't deflated. So I think with Jalen Carter, I think the Eagles would have probably manhandled them, but we'll never know now because he got ejected. But the Eagles still won. Moving on to the game on Friday. The Friday game was the Chargers versus the Chiefs as the Chargers won 27-21. The Chargers offense. Herbert had an extraordinary performance. He threw for 25 out of 34, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 88.3 QBR, and a passer rating of 131.7. So yeah, bro played incredible. And this is the thing with Herbert, bro. I like Herbert personally. Like, as a talent, top generational talent. Like, this guy can do everything. He's 6'6". I think he's like 240, or he's in that range. And, bro, he has a cannon of an arm, bro. That bro can sling it. I'm like, damn. Like, and it's such a pretty spiral. Like, bro, it's crazy, like, as a talent. And I get it. People like bring up the playoff flaws, and yeah, he's 0-2 in the playoffs. He had that debacle versus the Jaguars, and then last year against the Texans, he had 4 interceptions in the game. So I get it, and I've also criticized him for that because I'm a fan of the guy. Like he's not my favorite quarterback, but I like him. Like if you see him, I like to watch him play. I'm like, this guy's crazy when he's playing. Like he's crazy talent, crazy. But I hope he does better, bro. I hope like he's improving on that because in the regular season we see him, he has flaw. He can do stuff like I remember. I think he's the leader. I think he's like the youngest player to ever reach certain yardage, like this fast. I'm pretty. It's not like a stat on that or something. But I remember he led the league in touchdown passes his rookie year. He's been there in yards. Like it's just the playoffs. He just needs to be better at the playoffs, and we'll be talking about him as a top 5 quarterback. For me right now, he's a top 10. He's in the top 10 discussion, not top 5. He's in the top 10 discussion for sure. And I think if he wins like a few playoff games, and he'll be the top 5. He'll be in the top 5 discussion with Burrow, with Allen, with Lamar. I think he'll be up with those guys if he gets in the playoff. If he does well in the playoff, and I think he will soon. I hope he does, because I mean I actually enjoy the guy. Like, he seems cool off the field, or whatever, but like on the field, bro, he's crazy. Like the talent is just so there. He just I don't know. Well, maybe it's a mental thing, or maybe it's because he's on the Chargers. Because the Chargers, bro, like the Chargers. Oh, because I remember in Jacksonville, he didn't even play a bad of a game. He did not play a bad game. He had 0 interceptions. Like it was mostly on the defense and Brandon Staley, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. But for wide receiver, we continue on. With wide receiver group, they were balling. As Herbert threw for 300 yards, the rest of the guys were balling, especially Quentin Johnson. Bro, he finally figured out how to catch. Look at that. When you finally learn how to catch, you get yardage. Isn't that crazy, John? Isn't that crazy, Quentin? No offense, bro. But like, I mean, it's true, brother. It's true. You got to do better than that. But anyways, this game, he looked great. He had 5 catches for 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 targets. Like, he can finally catch now. And that's great. And Ladd McConkey, standout rookie from Georgia last year. He had 6 catches, 74 yards on 9 targets. Keenan Allen coming back from the Bears. He had 7 catches, 68 yards, 1 touchdown on 10 targets. So it was looking good for them. The wide receiver group, the offense was clicking. They rushed for 90 yards. I think the rookie, the running back, Omarion Hampton, he had 15 carries, 48 yards. I think he had one like mishap on kickoff. I didn't really see that, but I think he had like a mishap there. But it looked fine. They rushed for 90 yards overall, rushing offense, and I think overall they looked good. Chargers so. Or it could have been because against Chiefs D, and we're gonna talk about that. But they looked good. Kansas City defense, like I was saying, they didn't impress me this game. Like it could be because it was the first game, they're getting to it, and Spagnuolo's defenses and these Chiefs defenses are notorious starting off slow and then they get better throughout the season. But eye test was telling me that they didn't look good. They didn't look good to me. Now they give way too many open looks. He was sacked, like I have right here. They did sack Herbert 3 times, but I don't know. Like the eye test wasn't really telling me. There was a lot of guys in open. The corners were leaving a lot of guys open. And as we've seen, like McConkey, Johnson, and Keenan, they were open, bro. Like so, it's like I don't know. But Spagnuolo, then he brought more pressure, like he does. Like I was saying, he got the 3 sacks, but I don't know. They didn't convince me. Now I'm only leaning on that. It's the Chiefs, and this is Spagnuolo's defense. So I think he'll have them improved by the year, and they'll get better. And that's what I'm leaning on right now. That maybe it's just the first game, and I think Spagnuolo is going to make him improve and get better, and they'll get better throughout the season. I think that's probably what's most likely going to happen. But this game, nah, they didn't look good. The Chiefs, the offense. Pat Mahomes, he played well, passing and throwing. He was 24 for 39, 258 yards. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 80.9 QBR with an 89.5 passer rating. He was also the leading rusher. He had 6 carries, 57 yards, 1 touchdown, and he averaged 9 yards a carry. And Pat was doing everything for these guys. And that one play where he trucked Dante Jackson, crazy. I've seen some people online talking about like oh, see, he was baiting Dante or something, or like that should be a foul. And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Bro? That's a straight up football play. Like, I don't know why Dante didn't smack him. He was inbounds. They were saying like, oh, Dante didn't smack because he didn't want to get a flag on that play. How? They were both on the field, bro. Right when they went to make contact, both of them were on the field, clearly on the field. If Dante would have smacked him, that would have not been a flag. I mean, could have been in his mind probably, but he didn't bring it. He didn't bring all of his mind, all of his weight, to say the least. He didn't bring all of it to the hit, and that's why. And Mahomes is 240, bro. So that's why he straight up trucked them, and that was crazy, bro. Mahomes got a dad bod, but he brought it and he trucked them, and that was crazy. But anyways, so overall, I think Pat was playing pretty well. The run game was poor, like I was saying. Like, as Pat is your leading rusher, the quarterback's leading rusher, that's not a good sign ever. If your quarterback's the leading rusher. Pacheco was the most. He had 25 yards. Like I'm saying, bro, overall they had 98 yards as a team. Pat had 57, so that's like half or more than half of the yards. So that's not good. That's not good. They'll probably see if they improve on that. Who are the running backs? Pacheco, Kareem. Yeah, Pacheco, Kareem. That's a good duo. I don't know. Maybe today was just off, but the run game was not good. But who was good? Hollywood Brown. He was cooking with 10 catches, 99 yards. That was that 149 yard ball. I mean, that was the one that gave him most yards. But he got it on 16 targets. Juju had 5 catches on 55 yards, and then Kelsey had 247 with that 1 touchdown. So it looked pretty well throwing it, running it, not so much. Andy Reid, Coach Reid, he usually doesn't mess up, but I think he did today. I think he did it under 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes left in the game. They're down 18-27 at the Chargers' 9-yard line. Andy Reid kicks the field goal rather than go for it. Now, I know it's a fourth and goal at the 9-yard line. We're saying, okay, I get that. But you have Mahomes. You're Andy Reid. And you have Andy Reid. You were Andy Reid and you have Patrick Mahomes. And like I was saying about the Chiefs' defense, they were not good today, or that day, yesterday. They were not good. And I wouldn't have relied on them to get me out of this. And they proved me right. Because the Chargers got the first 2 down the last drive. They got the first 2 downs, and they drained the clock, and they got the victory, which was pretty surprising from the Chargers. But they did it. And I was actually expecting that because I was like, bro, the Chiefs' defense is not good today. They're not good, and I don't think they're going to stop them. They haven't stopped them yet, so I don't think they're going to stop them. And they didn't, and I think Coach Reid was too conservative on this one, and he leaned too much on his defense when today wasn't the day to lean on Spags and the defense. So I think he got that one wrong. Now, probably he would have gone criticized if they go for it and they missed it. They're like, why would you do that with 2 minutes? Like, well, all right, so I get it. But I think this one, I just wouldn't have done it because the Chiefs defense didn't do good today. They didn't do good that game. So I would have not have relied on them to win us the game in that scenario. But it is what it is, and you got to live with it. So we'll see. But the Chiefs won. They won a division game. And the Chiefs, bro, they have it hard. I think they have the Eagles next. They have a hard schedule coming up, the Chiefs. So we'll see what they do. And the Chargers, I think they have the Raiders next. So 2-0. No, we'll see. We'll see what they do. But shout out to the Chargers. I thought they were going to choke this one, dude. I really thought they were going to choke this one. But they did not. So props. The defense, the Chargers defense, they were okay. They gave up like 3 or 4 big plays, like the touchdown to Kelsey, the 49-yard pass to Hollywood Brown on the last drive, all the Mahomes scramble plays. Like, the Chargers were doing what they do. When they were charging. The Chargers charged. Okay, that's what they were doing. And I low-key thought, like I was saying, they were going to choke. I thought they were going to choke after that 49-yard Brown play. I was like, oh, it's gone. They're going to lose this game. But surprisingly, they held them. They stopped them on the last drive. They stopped Mahomes and Andy Reid. And then they got the game, and they won the game. So props to them. They actually did it. Props to Chargers. Actually surprised me, to be honest. I thought after that Brown play, game was over. I was like, oh, Chiefs are going to win. But prove me wrong. Now let's get into a season predictions. Okay. Super Bowl 60 matchup and winner. Who am I going for? I think it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens AFC champs versus the NFC champs Detroit Lions. And I have the Detroit Lions winning the Super Bowl for the first time in their history. They're going to win it 30-26. Detroit Lions Super Bowl. That'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying that would be? I think that would be great for football, Loki. I mean, I hope Niners do it, but if not the Niners, why not the Lions? I got no hate against the Lions, bro. So why not against them? But I think Lions will win because they're going to build off what they had last year. I think if Aiden Hutchinson stays, they'll have actually, not just him, like the whole defense, the injuries they had on defense was insane. I think if they stayed healthy, they probably would have made the Super Bowl. I think they would have had a really good chance versus the Eagles, and I think they could have beat that Chiefs squad. I think they could have beat them. So I think they just build off what they had last year, keep healthy, and I think the Lions will be the Super Bowl champions, bro. Crazy. I mean, only picked them ahead of the Ravens because the Ravens, they'll probably beat that playoff bug. They'll probably beat that playoff hump, finally go over it. And then the Super Bowl, that's what's going to happen again. That's when the lights are going to be too bright again. And I think the Lions are what's going to do it. The Lions. Because they got no pressure, bro. Like, honestly, they're the Lions. They're even happy to be at the Super Bowl. Like, no offense. Like, right now, they're good. They're a good contending team. But, in their history, they're just happy to be here. And that's why I got them to win. I think they're going to build off of last year. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown's chemistry is going to go off. The duo will be Montgomery, Gibbs, Laporta. They got the whole offensive line is back, I think. I think the skipper is the only one who left, but the rest of the guys are there. Like, oh my God, forgot my brother's name. Decker, I think they're no. Penny Soul. They got Penny Soul. Who else they got? I'm trying to remember off my head. Yeah, Penny Soul. I remember Penny Soul, Graham Glasgow, Eric Decker. Like they still got their offensive line, and they should be good. They should be good. So, and on defense, they got the boys. They got Hutchinson's coming back. They got DJ Reader, Davenport, and Anzalone, Campbell, Arnold, Branch, Kirby. Like, bro, they'll be good. I think Lions contenders. I think they won the Super Bowl this year. That'd be crazy. I'm calling a big shot. I mean, bro, whoever called the Lions to win it? But I'm going with Lions. And then, Ravens. They look like the best team to me in the AFC. To me, they are the best team in the AFC right now. I mean, just look at the squad, bro. Like, and pull them up real quick. Sometimes you just forget names, right? Like, obviously you got Lamar. Their receiving core is crazy. Like, you got Derrick Henry, who's the second leading rusher last year. They got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. They added DeAndre Hopkins. Great wide receiver presence, veteran presence in the locker room. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Their offensive line is still the same. You still got Ronnie Stanley, Tyler Linderbaum. On defense, Odafe, Madubike, Owe. I think that's what I was trying to say. Owe and Madubike. Roquan, Banoy, Hamilton. He signed a new contract. Marlon Humphrey. Like, bro. Oh, my God. The Ravens, I think they're the best team on the AFC, but I think they're going to lose to the Lions. And if they don't, well, I mean, the Ravens are good. So we'll see. I think one of those two, but I'm for sure. I'm going to pick the Lions, though. I'm going to pick the Lions. MVP. Who do I have? Joe Burrow from the Cincinnati Bengals, quarterback, okay? He was a passing leader last year, and the only reason that he didn't win MVP, was because the team was trash, like especially the defense, because it wasn't the offense. The defense was trash, and they didn't make the playoffs. So that's why they couldn't give him MVP. Defense, like I was saying, defense was terrible, but I expect the defense to be better, and I expect the whole team as a whole, to start better, because that's been also a problem with Zach Taylor's Bengals. Like, they just never start off well. I think they finally heard that. They started a lot of guys on preseason. They're gonna start off fast. They're gonna win games, and I think the defense is gonna be better, and they're gonna be back in the playoffs because the offense is already elite. Him, Jamar, T. Higgins. They got Mike Gesicki right now at a tight end. The running back Chase Brown, I think he's pretty good. He's not elite, but he's good. But you got those three. You got those three main guys, and you just need to protect them. You need to protect Burrow with Orlando Brown Jr. But you got those three main guys. You got Joe, Jamar, T. Higgins. Your offense is elite. And they just need a defense to get better. And if they do, I think Joe's going to replicate what he did last year and probably win the MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, no surprise, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase was the number one receiver last year. He led the league. I think he was a Triple Crown. Was he the Triple Crown? I think he was a Triple Crown. Let me actually search that up real quick. I feel like he was. ESPN, NFL stats. Woo woo boo boo. Dooba dooba doo doop doop doo 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 doo. Yeah, see, look. Receptions 127, most in the NFL. 1,708 yards, most in the NFL. What else? 17 touchdowns, most in the NFL. Yeah, see, he was a Triple Crown. And he had the most targets as well. But yeah, he was a Triple Crown. And he had the most yards per game with 100. See, he won the Triple Crown last year. I don't know if he'll win the same this year, but if I have Joe the MVP, he's the number one receiver. So he's going to get the most yards. And same reason. Receiving last year, Triple Crown winner last year. He's on Burrow's team. He should win the Offensive Player of the Year. If they make the playoffs, replicate what they did last year, but make the playoffs, both of them will win these two awards. Defensive Player of the Year. I think I got a dark horse. I'm going with Fred Warner from the Niners, okay? A little bit biased, probably, but this is not biased, though. Fred is the best linebacker in the league. I don't think that's bias at all. And if not, if you don't think he's the best, you got to be like he's top two. Top two at least. Because you could say him, Roquan, and like when we was Zaire Franklin. Like, who else, bro? When you think of linebackers, top linebackers, you're picking Fred. And I think he's going to lead the league in tackles this year. And I think he's going to lead in sacks for his position, for the inside linebacker, middle linebacker position. I think he's going to lead his position group in sacks. So watch out for that, bro. I'm going Fred. Big year for All-Pro Fred. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going Travis Hunter / Cam Ward. Now, I'm in between these two guys right now. Tennessee, my bad. And I'm in between these two guys right now because Hunter with Lawrence, I think the Jaguars came out yesterday or today, and on their depth chart, and I'm going to show you guys this. On their depth chart, they have... Ooh, that looks ugly. Okay, there we go. On their depth chart, they have Hunter as second wide receiver, as number 2 receiver. Let me move this for y'all real quick. See, number 2 receiver. Look at that, number 2 receiver. And then on defense, they have him as backup corner. So he's not even the starting corner. He's a backup corner, but he's playing wide receiver too on the offense. That's what they listed him. So I think he's obviously going to be more of a wide receiver then. And just with him being an offensive player, they're probably going to give him that credentials, or want to say, or award. But other than that, other than him, I think Cam Ward, because I'm seeing a trend. Now, I guess he's on the Titans, but I'm seeing a trend here, okay? 2023, CJ Stroud changed the Texans, go to the playoffs, do good. Last year, Jaden Daniels, second pick, took the poverty Washington Commanders, took them all the way to the NFC Championship game in his rookie year. It's rookie year. You see the trend? Now they're both second round picks, and Cam Ward's a first, not second round, second overall picks, and Cam Ward's a first overall pick. But you could say Bryce Young in 2023, and then 2024 you say Caleb. Caleb's not a bust at all though. None of the actually Bryce neither, but like these guys, right? But I don't know, man. These rookies, they can do this. Because if I thought what CJ Stroud did was an anomaly and it was never going to happen again. Literally the next year, Jaden Daniels does it. So who's saying who can't happen again? Who's saying that Cam Ward can't even top that? I don't know. I don't think so. I think maybe it'll be the same level. We probably actually do what CJ Stroud did, which was like lead them to the playoffs. Like I think they won the wild card game. I forgot who the Browns. I think they beat the Browns and then they lost to the Chiefs. Which I mean, yeah, who's going to the Chiefs? But I don't think he'll take them all the way to the AFC Championship game. But maybe he could do something what CJ Stroud did, and that was pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see. And everything coming out and it's mostly just that. It's that. That's one part. But the most thing I'm looking at is that everything coming out of the Titans camp is good. Like everything is positive about him. He's the first one in. He's the last one out. That cliche. I know it's a cliche, but like it's true for quarterbacks, bro. Like you have to be first one in, last one out. Like you just for a quarterback, you have to be that leader. You have to show it. And it's just like every it's not just me, okay? I don't say this like I'm saying it. I'm not in locker rooms. But every NFL great has always said that. They repeat the same things when it comes to the quarterbacks. They have to be the first one in, last one out. And that's what they're saying, what he's doing. And it obviously also it comes out that he loves football. He only cares about football. He's a great teammate. So it's just all positive. So why wouldn't he lead the Titans to actual relevance and to the playoffs? I could see it happening. Yeah, the Titans are bad, but bro, who would have thought Jaden Daniels last year would have led the Washington Commanders to the NFC champion? I would have been like, oh, I hope Jaden does somewhat relevant, and they gave maybe they go 9-8 or something. That's a positive start. I think the Commanders went 12-5 last year. I think they went 12-5, and they went to the NFC Championship game. So like, no, bro, like nah. Yeah, they were 12-5. See, so I just had to confirm that, but I think Cam could do something similar with CJ. Not exactly what Jaden Daniel did, but some similar to what CJ did, and lead him to the playoffs. And we'll see. And if he does that, I think the Titans. I think if he does that, he's into the playoffs, he'll for sure be Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's why I'm in between those two, but we'll see. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I got Abdul Carter. Y'all know from the Giants. I always pick the edge rusher because the edge rushers, they have, like, if you've been watching this channel, my channel, if you've been watching here and listening to me, I always pick the edge rushers as defensive rookies because they have the most and quickest impact for rookies, especially on defense. And Abdul fits that criteria. Like he's immediate impact player. So if he gets like more than 8 sacks or 8 sacks, he's gonna win defensive rookie of the year. Comeback player of the year, I have Aiden Hutchinson from Detroit. Remember he had a broken tibia and fibula last year versus in the Cowboys game. He was having a great season. He had 7.5 sacks in 6 games last year. So he was on a roll. He was on the roll to be the leading sack leader. And I think another year with this Detroit team. I mean, I literally said I have him win the Super Bowl. So I expect them to have similar statistics, similar performance. And I think with his performance, he's going to help Detroit go to the Super Bowl and possibly win. So we'll see what happens there. A coach of the year, I got Mike Vrabel. Okay, Vrabel is back from his coaching hiatus, back with his old team, back with the Patriots. I expect them to improve the team. All right, it could be they could be a dark horse playoff team, the Patriots. But and even if they're not, like if they don't, I still expect them to improvement with Vrabes. Okay, from what the Patriots were last year under Gerard Mayo and previously. I forgot what they were last year. Were they? I don't know. Let me actually search this up real quick. Patriots record 2024. So they were 4-13. I expect them to be better than 4-13 this year under Vrabel. Okay, I don't know if they'll make playoffs, but I expect them to be 9-8 or something like that. Like I expect more games, or like not even, you don't have to win games, but like just the sense of they're in games. Like you could see the improvement in the games where they're like, oh, they're hustling, or you could see that they have a good defense here and it's disciplined, or like stuff like that. That's what I expect them to do under Vrabel. And like I was saying, it could be a dark. And if they become a playoff team and make it into the playoffs, I think he would be coach of the year, just because of what we've seen the Patriots without Tom, and then that period with Bill where they weren't good, and then now with Mayo last year, and then if he makes them good this year, I think he has a shot of being coach of the year. New playoff teams. All right, here's a prediction for new playoff teams. I'm going with the Titans. Like I was saying about Cam Ward, right? The whole thing I was saying about Cam Ward being offensive rookie of the year, put all that, and then the Titans being in the AFC South, which the only real contender is the Texans. And then I wouldn't even say and I mean contender in like to win the division, not to win the Super Bowl, but like the only real good team in the division, actually is a better way to say it. Real good team in the division is the Texans. And that's probably it. The rest of them, the Jaguars, Titans, Jaguars and the Colts. What am I getting from them? I don't know what I'm gonna get from them. I don't know how right now with Richardson and Daniel Jones. I don't know what's going on in the Colts over there. The Jaguars are like 3-12. 3-12. They were 3-14 last year, I believe. I don't know what I'm gonna get from them. So I think the Titans might have a legit shot win the AFC South when the only real threat is the Texans. So we'll see about that. They could sneak in that 7th spot in the AFC. Another team, the Niners, my San Francisco 49ers. Last year, I think we just had a bunch of injuries and inconsistency, and the DC wasn't right fit for us, and it just was a whole lot of inconsistency. We got Saleh back as our defensive coordinator. I expect big things from him. The defense, even from the preseason, the defense looks better. Have you seen my previous videos? I was saying the defense just looks like how it was under him, where it was just pursuit. What's the other way I'm trying to say, bro? Other word I was trying to say, like they just attack the football, right? And it's just pursuit to the ball, and we have that back. We have that hustle back, and I think we're gonna be in contention again, and we should be back in the playoffs. So we'll hope everything goes well and everything goes good. Right now it looks so good with the Christian McCaffrey injury, saying if he's hurt with his calf injury, if he's hurt, if he's not, I don't know. But hopefully it's just all a big smoke screen and he comes into play and we get back to what we need to be. So we'll see. Bengals. You guys have heard me talking about Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. The offense is elite. They just need the defense to meet them halfway there. Just meet them halfway there at least. They got Trey Henderson back. They brought him back on a deal. Stewart is the rookie. Shamar Stewart. He had his what's it called? He not bailed out. He held out of camp because they weren't. The Bengals were the first team that wanted to give him guarantees, which is weird. I don't know how like rookie you don't give him guarantees, but like whatever. He's back. They figured it out, so he's on the team. They needed a defensive tackle in there. He's there. I think Reeder's there. What's someone looking at? Oh yeah, their secondary. Their secondary is actually not that bad because they just need to improve. Like Dax Hill and Cam Taylor-Britt. Like these guys are not bad. I don't know what really happened last year, but I think they'll improve. And if they are, they're in the playoffs. So they have the team to compete, and I think they'll be back in the playoffs. Drop off teams. Okay, teams that were in the playoffs last year, but I don't think will make it this year. First team going with the Vikings. Sam Darnold's with the Seahawks now. J.J. McCarthy is going to be the starter. He's basically a rookie, right? He didn't play last year because of his injury. And to be honest, I've never been a fan of him. I've never been a fan of him when he was in Michigan. He was okay to me. Like he doesn't really stand out to me. No offense, but like he just doesn't. He's like an average quarterback. He does have Justin Jefferson, so like that's obviously helps. One of the best receivers in the league, but you can also drag him. Who knows? We don't know. I I don't see him as that quarterback. So we'll see, but I don't trust the Vikings right now with JJ McCarthy at the helm. So I think Vikings will not make it. And in their place will probably be us or another NFC team. I don't know, but I don't think the Vikings will make it. I also think the Broncos will probably be out. And not because the Broncos are bad or they're going to get worse, but like I think multiple teams in the AFC are going to battle for that 6 and 7 spot in the AFC. Like the Broncos are obviously in there, the Steelers are in there, like I'm saying, the Bengals are in there, the Chargers are going to be in there. And like I'm saying, I think the Pats and the Titans, like I'm arguing, if my predictions come true, they're gonna be in the playoffs or they're gonna be fighting for playoff spots. So that's another spot that the Broncos are out. So we'll see, and they might be, and like I'm saying, the Pats and the Titans might become the new emergers in the AFC, and we'll see. We'll see how kind of we'll see, because I mean, like the only three or four teams that are gonna like for sure make it in the playoffs is Ravens, Chiefs, and the Bills. Those are like the three main teams you could say that like for sure going in the playoffs, for sure going to be like they're Super Bowl contenders, so they're for sure going in there. The other four spots, like I was saying, Titans can challenge the Texans for that AFC South. So all four division winners are automatically in the playoffs. So we got the Ravens are I think going to win the AFC North. The the Bills are going to win the AFC East. Chiefs going to win the AFC West. And then the AFC South, like I'm saying, Titans and Texans could battle for that. And then 5th, 4th, and 6th, who's going to be? I mean, what did I say? 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, who's going to be those? So I think it's up for grabs. So we'll see. We'll see. Mid-season predictions, the last segment of the episode. Mid-season predictions, all right? I don't have a lot. I have one. And this one literally just occurred to me while I was making this episode, and that's why I did it. I'm going on a limb, and I'm thinking Cam Jordan will be traded from the Saints this year. Long-term player, okay? Long-time veteran, I almost say. Long-time veteran, Cam Jordan from the Saints. I think his whole tenure has been with the Saints, I believe. I think he's going to get traded. Now, and why, you ask? Saints are predicted to be awful. People are saying they're going to be so bad. They're going to be bad. Can they win a game? Who knows, right? But they're saying they're going to be awful. So if they're going to be bad, they will consider trading players for draft picks like all bad teams do. When you had nothing to do in the middle of the season, you try to get better during the season, right? So they're going to want draft picks. That's when in comes Cam Jordan. He's 36. He's still a good player. Since he's 36, he's older, right? He's going to want to play for a contender, right? And a contender might consider trading for him if they need a piece, someone gets injured, or we need an extra pass rusher. I don't know, right? Every year a contender trades for someone because either they got an injury or they just want to add depth to the squad, right? Because they're a contender. Cam Jordan. The Saints might be open. They might open discussions like we need to get draft picks. We need to get younger. Saints could be willing to do it. And I think they will. I think it will happen. They'll probably trade. If they are bad, as people are going to say, they're going to try to move on from somebody. He's one of their biggest assets. Now, it probably sucks for him because he's a long-term Saints player. I remember he was there when they were bad with Drew Brees for a while when the offense was so good and the defense was trash. And then like the later years like of 2017, 2018, 2019, when they became good, they had a good defense. I remember 2017, I think that's when they lost to 2018. 2017 season is when they lost to the Vikings, to the Minneapolis Miracle, and then 2018 is when they lost to the Rams on the pass interference. That no pass interference. That crazy. Was it Roby Coleman? Yeah, Coleman smacked Tommy Lee, or no, not Tommy, Deontay Harris, and they didn't call that. I think it was Deontay Harris. That was crazy, and they didn't call that a PI. That was those two games, right? Those like the two crazy ones. And that last year against the Rams, they were so close to making the Super Bowl. But he was there. He was part of those teams, right? So he was like a long tenure. He's seen the bad and the good of the Saints, and they'll probably trade him. So that's kind of sad, but we'll see. I think that one's gonna happen. But thank y'all for listening. Let's end up this episode. Obviously, like every year, I'm gonna go after this. I'm gonna go with this list at the end of the year to see what happened. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it. See you everywhere, and we'll see y'all in the next one.